3 common patterns of self-sabotage. It seems difficult to believe that people might do things that are not in their best interests. This behavior sometimes happens again and again. Don't people want to do what's best for them? Why would anyone knowingly take action in a way that's caused them some negative outcome in the past and threatens to do the same thing again? This is what self-sabotage is. It's frustrating because it's often repetitive. A person continues to make decisions that produce a less than enjoyable result. Sometimes the person is so aware of what's going on that they'll jokingly refer to the problems they're going to face if they act in some way, or don't act. This happens because we continually make choices that don't produce the greatest results. We're often driven by psychological or emotional influences. This can make it tough to spot self-defeating behavior. If you want to create more positive results in your life, keep an eye out for these 3 common patterns of self-sabotage. 1. Being a perfectionist. You might not think that attempting to be perfect is a positive trait. It really isn't. The people who succeed at the highest levels in their fields understand that they always need to push themselves. But they are also aware that perfection doesn't exist. You can always improve in some way. It makes sense to strive to get better in areas of your life because you know this can improve the quality of your life. That's admirable. A problem develops when this becomes an all-or-nothing mindset. It keeps you from taking action or getting involved in opportunities because before you even get started, you don't see the potential for a perfect outcome. 2. Embracing extremes. Perhaps you never say no when a friend asks for a favor. Before you know it, you have so many responsibilities that your life suffers. You place others before your needs. Maybe you lack moderation in some other way. Moderation helps you avoid self-sabotage that can cause problems in so many aspects of your life. 3. Trying to do it all yourself. We all need help from time to time. The self-saboteur refuses to admit this. If you don't get help when you need it, this can lead to failure. You have no one but yourself to blame if turning to your friends or loved ones for help is all that you would have needed to be successful instead. Remember that perfection doesn't exist in the human condition. Strive for moderation and steer clear of extremes. Get help when you need it. These are simple ways to avoid destructive and damaging behavior that can keep you from experiencing positive results. 5 signs of sneaky self-sabotage. Self-sabotage can be frustrating. You set a goal and draw up a plan to make it happen. This is something you really want, so there's no end to motivational fuel. The journey begins and you're absolutely assured of success. Then you get in your own way. Why does this happen? You're the person that's chasing after some dream and also the person messing everything up. That's frustrating, puzzling, head-scratching behavior to say the least. Sometimes this happens quietly and under your radar. You don't realize that some behavior is going to wreck your best efforts at making something great happen. If you want to experience more success and less failure and frustration when chasing down your dreams, be on the lookout for these 5 signs of sneaky self-sabotage. 1. You justify actions that lead to negative results. You do something that knocks you backwards on your path to success. You justify to yourself or others why you did what you did. Honesty is the better policy. If you constantly make excuses for behaviors that keep you from achieving your goals, you become the enemy of your dreams. 2. You're waiting for the perfect time. This is often driven by a fear of failure. Your subconscious doesn't want you to fail, so it won't let you get started. There's never going to be the perfect time to create big and positive change in your life, so start right now. 3. Logic reinforces your failures. You haven't done something before, so why should you believe you can do it now? This might seem logical, but it could also be a self-sabotaging excuse for not taking action. 4. I'm too blank to make it happen. This is in some ways a combination of the previous 2 signs of self-sabotage. You can always make excuses that you're too old or too young or too whatever to make something happen. Or you can stop with the excuses and just make it happen. 5. You stop because you didn't see success quickly enough. Achieving big things in your life will probably take time. Giving up after a couple of days trying to create significant change because you don't see life-altering progress is nothing but self-sabotage. Failing to realize a dream isn't always because you didn't try hard enough. It might be due to you getting in your own way. Avoid the 5 signs of self-sabotage we just discussed, and you can stop unconscious behaviors from wrecking your goal achievement efforts. 7 signs you're sabotaging yourself. It's tough for us to admit that we get in the way of our own success sometimes. In some cases, we may not even realize we are the ones keeping ourselves from doing the things that are important to us. Then there's the fact that self-sabotaging behavior is often disguised as something that's good for us. You can't fix something if you don't know it's broken. You need to know the signs that show you might be impeding your own progress in some way. Beware of the following 7 types of behavior that can keep you from achieving your goals. 1. Preferring to stay comfortable. You make goals when you want to create a reality that's different than the one you have right now. If you stay in your comfort zone all of the time, you can't create anything different than what you're currently experiencing. 2. Creating unnecessary conflict. Do you find your words and behaviors often create conflict with the people you care about? You could be subconsciously limiting your progress towards a better life. 3. Controlling behavior. The desire to control others comes from low self-esteem or a belief that you don't have sufficient skills and abilities. This can damage your relationships as well as any efforts you make towards achieving a goal. 4. You frequently make excuses. Excuses are incredibly limiting. They allow you to blame anything negative in your life on everything other than you. You're going to fail many times before you have substantial success in your life. Embrace that failure, brush yourself off, and move on. Don't make excuses that keep you from moving forward. 5. We do things that don't line up with our values and beliefs. This is self-sabotage at its best. When you act against your core values and belief systems, you experience frustration, low self-esteem, and other negative emotions. You begin to believe you can't act in your own best interest. 6. Social isolation and withdrawal. People sometimes remove themselves from society as a way to justify their invalid beliefs that they aren't good enough in some way. You can't usually realize your dreams and goals by withdrawing from the world. 7. Risky behavior that can lead to self-harm. Gambling, addictive spending, sexual promiscuity, and substance abuse can wreck your chance at living a great life. These are just a few self-sabotaging behaviors. They keep you from success when you're pursuing a goal. They can also lead to self-doubt and other negative emotions that keep you from trying to turn your dreams into reality in the future. Comparing yourself to others is a self-sabotaging game you can't win. Your smartphone and television, computer and friends, society and advertising agencies are upset with what you've done. Haven't you gotten the endless messages that have been bombarding you every day? Not long after you wake up in the morning, you begin receiving the same messages you always do. You're not rich enough, skinny enough, big enough, strong enough, pretty enough, handsome enough, or fill in the blank enough to make everyone but you happy. Your friends and family members love you, but they engage in this behavior often. They knowingly or unknowingly make you feel terrible about who you are. Why aren't you married by now? There's something wrong with men your age that aren't married. Why don't you have any children? You know the pregnancy clock is ticking and women of a certain age don't have much time left to become moms. They love you, and sometimes their hurtful messages are well intended. The people who care about you might always be harping on your finances or career. They bash your financial situation or job, claiming to have your best interests at heart. Sometimes you are the problem. You buy into all the constant messages you receive electronically and from your friends, family, and other people that are endlessly comparing you to what they believe you need to be. So jump in and play the comparison game yourself. That's a game you can't win. Look inside, not outside. You are a unique and amazing person. Because of the limitless number of physiological processes that created the person you are right now, no human being before you and after you is ever going to be just like you. That's incredible, isn't it? You should embrace that instead of fighting against it. Happiness is inside, it's not outside. A lack of awareness of this basic truth is why the wealthiest people hunger more every day for even higher levels of wealth. That's not going to make them happy, but they keep reaching for more and more money because they believe happiness is outside of them and needs to be obtained. Your happiness and fulfillment is inside of you. It's the person you are and the person that's waiting for you to respect that. When you compare yourself to others, it's a never-ending game. When you make one change, then you believe you should make another, and another, and another. Your happiness doesn't last long because it was externally obtained. You assume that if you made this little change, then you can make more. Nothing is ever enough. You continue to strive to be richer or better looking or skinnier. The reason why this process never stops is because you haven't looked inside yourself and embraced the unique person you are. You are enough. When outside influences or your self-sabotaging inner voice says you need to change so you can be more like someone else, red flags should start waving. There is no winning the comparison game. It's a never-ending cycle of always wanting more. The truth of the matter is you are all you will ever need, right here, right now. Ditch this T word to say sayonara to self-sabotage. Sayonara is a Japanese word used to say farewell or goodbye. If you want to give a goodbye to your self-sabotaging behaviors and habits, there's one word you need to remove from your vocabulary. Every time you catch yourself saying this word, stop. Think about what you're actually saying. We'll disclose this dangerous T word in just a little bit. First, let's look at one of the most common causes of our self-induced actions that sabotage so many areas of our lives: procrastination. It's not always a bad thing to put something off until a later time. Your current situation might not be the best for dealing with a problem or taking a specific action. You'd love to take a short vacation for a few days. There's a lot going on in your life and you know you deserve a break. However, your finances really wouldn't provide for the best and most enjoyable getaway right now. So you put it off a couple of months so you'll be better prepared financially. That's not procrastination, that's smart planning. Procrastination is putting off something you should be doing today, and by putting it off, you often cause something negative to happen. Think of tomorrow as a bad word. You may have guessed by now that tomorrow is the T word we're talking about. Remove it from your vocabulary unless it's absolutely necessary. Along with next week, next month, and when I get a chance. Tomorrow is when procrastinators promise they're going to get something done. They either make this promise to someone else or to themselves. Either way, it's the start of a slippery slope to self-sabotage in many cases. Sometimes moving something off until tomorrow makes sense. We talked about the vacation example earlier and described how moving it to a future date is probably the best thing. If you don't have the resources available to do something today and you know you'll have them tomorrow, then it's okay to reschedule that activity. People that embrace procrastination for the wrong reasons don't usually put things off because it'll create a better outcome. They procrastinate because they simply don't want to do something right now. They may justify in their minds so many reasons for putting something off when they know deep down that it could create problems. When you catch yourself using the word tomorrow, stop and think about what you're doing. It might be the best decision. Then again, you might just be procrastinating. If you're tired of sabotaging your efforts to achieve goals in any area of your life, terminate tomorrow from your vocabulary. You'll find yourself accomplishing more today, which means less self-sabotage and more success.